Did you feel the ground shake early Thursday morning? If you were up at 4:30 this morning, you may have. Also on today's Live Daily News, 2 crashes, a crime update, and everything going on this weekend in town. Plus, Charlotte Anderson with Keep San Angelo Beautiful gives us a reminder on how to do just that. All this plus more. I'm Yantis Green, and this is Live. But first, during heartbreak times of loss, don't let funeral homes overcharge you to honor your loved ones. 2 locally owned funeral homes, Robert Massey and Harper Funeral Homes, offer obituaries on San Angelo Live. Other media sites, like that old newspaper, could charge you $200, $300, or even $400 for an obituary. Here at San Angelo Live, it is a low price of $30. Plus, what happens when you're done with the newspaper? It's likely that it goes in the trash. At San Angelo Live, obits last forever and are there at the click of a button. So make sure when you're thinking of who to call, remember those who support local. That's Robert Massey Funeral Home and Harper Funeral Home. Give them a call today. Yesterday afternoon, just as the show wrapped up, the Grape Creek Volunteer Fire Department crews were called to US 87 North for the report of a vehicle fire. Yes, I know what you're thinking. How is this big news? Just after the crew put out the fire, a truck slammed into the back of another truck. 2 ambulances were called from San Angelo, but luckily no one was injured in that crash. Remember, if you see a crash, slow down and keep your eyes on the road. If you want to see it, check it out later on sanangelolive.com. At the same time, the San Angelo police officers were working a crash in town where a car careened into a telephone pole near the original HEB. According to our officers on the scene, a tan-colored Oldsmobile Bravada was leaving the HEB parking lot onto Avenue N at a high rate of speed and ran through the stop sign across the street and into a telephone pole. The driver told officers that her foot got caught on the accelerator pedal, and that was the reason for the crash. Both the driver and passenger in that vehicle were transported to the hospital as a precaution, and a citation was issued to the driver for failure to control speed. AEP will assess the damage to that telephone pole and determine if it needs to be replaced. And a San Angelo man has been sentenced for attempting to take a taser from an officer and spitting on him. According to court documents, in November of 2022, San Angelo police were dispatched to the 700 block of Greenwood Street regarding a domestic disturbance. Once on the scene, officers located Andreas Sanchez and arrested him for public intoxication. While in custody, Sanchez began banging his head so hard on the window bars inside the car that he knocked himself out. At Shannon Medical Center, Sanchez began spitting and even tried to take a taser from an officer. Sanchez was in court on Valentine's Day for a plea deal. In exchange for a guilty plea, Sanchez received 3 years deferred adjudication. The most groundbreaking news today would be what went down this morning in the big country. It was so big, in fact, it was felt right here in San Angelo. At around 4:30 this morning, the United States Geological Survey reported a 4.3 magnitude earthquake about 10.5 miles northeast of Hermleigh on the Scurry-Fisher County line. This is the 3rd earthquake in that area reported in the last few weeks. For full details on that story, check it out on sanangelolive.com. This weekend in San Angelo, there are lots of things to do, whether it's the Cactus Market Days downtown, the light show at Angelo State University's Planetarium, or the Llama and Longhorn show out at the San Angelo Stock Show. You'll likely have a great time this weekend. On the music scene, Blaine's Pub will be having live music all weekend, starting with Carson Jeffrey on Friday and Eric Willis on Saturday with an acoustic show. As always, have fun and be safe, but remember to drink responsibly. And finally, you've probably noticed all the cones and work crews across town all week. Well, we've got to the bottom of what's going down. But before we get to that, Every weekday, thousands of folks just like you watch daily news that is streamed on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and SanAngeloLive.com. Businesses can connect with a much larger audience, this audience, by placing a scripted ad during each day's broadcast. Interested in advertising right here? Contact Joe Hyde at San Angelo Live, 325-340-1238. You're watching me deliver a scripted ad that could have your message instead of ours. Call Joe at 325-340-1238 or email him at joe@sanangelolive.com. And now here is James Bellini with the biggest story of the day.
You've probably noticed the crews walking around the roads here in San Angelo recently. Those are D&M contractors sealing cracks in the roads, and according to TxDOT, they'll be done by the end of this week, possibly as early as Saturday morning. It is affecting traffic as the crews have had to shut down lanes while working, but they are trying to avoid the high traffic areas of town in the morning. And TxDOT does realize it's never a good time to shut down lanes. The thing TxDOT does want you to remember is to slow down around these contractors, as many vehicles have been in a big hurry and have even driven around TxDOT inspection vehicles. All they're asking you to do is to use patience and caution when driving when they encounter this mobile operation. This affects the everyday commute to work that everyone in San Angelo has to deal with, and that's why this is the biggest story of the day.
Truck Month, Truck Month, Truck Month. You've been asking for it, and it's finally here. It's Truck Month, and we have huge savings on all cars and trucks, including F-150s. Low interest rates which make for low payments, and the best selection we've seen in years. Don't wait, hurry on down to Jim Bass Ford, Houston Hart at Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
The area round of the girls' high school basketball playoffs begin tonight. Wall's Lady Hawks travel to Anson to play Holiday. Cristoval's Lady Cougars travel to Rankin to play Wink. The Ballinger Lady Cats play City View in Haskell, and El Dorado's Lady Eagles play New Home in Snyder. All games start tonight at 6:30 p.m. The San Angelo Central Bobcats travel to Stanton tonight for their play-in tournament against Odessa Permian. At the conclusion of district play, the Bobcats are tied for third place with Odessa Permian and Midland High. As only 4 teams from district make the playoffs, extra games need to be played to determine seeding. If Central beats Mojo tonight, then they travel back to Stanton tomorrow to play Midland High. The Bobcats need only 1 win to make playoffs. The game starts tonight at 6 p.m. Be sure to tune in on Friday at 4 p.m. to our Cover One Hoop Show. This week we have an exclusive interview with the head coach of the Miles Bulldogs, Gerald Butts. We will also have results from the girls' games tonight, as well as a preview and our predictions for the playoff games next week.
This month only, mix and match cleaning and disinfecting services and save big with Carpetech. For example, get your carpet clean, save 10%. Get your carpet and tile clean, save 15%. Or get your carpet and tile and air ducts clean, save 20%. Call Carpetech today, 325-735-5142.
If your home is in a wreck, call Carpetech, yeah.
Welcome back to the show. We have a very special guest here. It's a guest that comes on about once a month just to keep us honest. It's Charlotte Anderson with Keep San Angelo Beautiful. How are you doing today, Charlotte?
Doing great. It's good to be with you, Matt.
Well, you've been doing a lot of stuff, and most recently you've been out teaching the children how to keep San Angelo a beautiful place. So
yes.
Let's talk about that first.
So we had a really great time with our Fort Concho third grade elementary students. Just fantastic event. We inducted 70 new KSAB junior ambassadors.
All right.
They took the pledge to never litter, to recycle when they can, and they are ready to make a difference in our community.
All right, well, it's got to start somewhere, and you might as well start them when they're young, so that way it's just all natural when they get grown, huh?
Absolutely.
So when you see something, we'll go through some of these pictures of these kids.
Sure.
We see their faces and they're happy, but what are some things that you're telling these guys as you're in that event?
Sure. We talk about what is trash. Where does it go after it leaves your kitchen? Does it go on the curb? Where does it go after that?
Okay.
They learn what a landfill is, and then they learn how they can make a difference in the landfill by recycling, reducing, and reusing. We also have activities so they can sort, so they can see how easy it is. So they have a bin that's got paper, plastic, metals, and glass. We accidentally spill the trash everywhere, and then they all go and pick it up.
And do a little sorting.
The process of that is so simple. We want them to take that message home to their parents. Oh my God, we did this in school. Look how easy it was.
Yeah.
We send them home with literature on recycling, and it is just fantastic. They are so excited to take that pledge. Then they know that they're responsible. They have to make a difference. They want to tell people to not litter. They're especially excited to be the boss of their parents and tell them, don't litter.
Yeah, they kind of they get to be that little influence, and also that little bug in their ear. It's like,
Absolutely.
Mom, that was supposed to go in the recycling bin, not the trash can. What are you doing? So I think that's a great start. And moving on, you know, these kids grow up and then they be adults, and they get to do other events like the event that you guys are going to be doing this April. Of course, April 1st is April Fool's, but no joke, we don't need to litter.
No fooling.
Yeah, Don't Mess with Texas event. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely. So this is family-friendly, pet-friendly, team building. You can bring your organization. If you're Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts, Boys and Girls Club, if you're a First Community, Blue Cross Blue Shield, everybody can have a team on this. We're going to start on the river at Santa Fe. Event check-in is at 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
And it'll be a really good time. We'll have fruit, juice, granola. We'll have all the supplies you need for the event. We'll have grabbers, we'll have gloves, we'll have bags. If we have an overload of volunteers, we'll go to a few different areas. So we're excited about that. Absolutely. We'll be canvassing and doing our litter surveys to see where some hot pockets are.
Okay.
And we'll take care of that as well.
What are some of, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything,
Sure.
but what are some of the hot spots, if you're talking about where are some of these, like, really, I guess, overly trashy spots here in Texas?
So what I'll tell you, since the last couple of days, the wind's been up 25 miles an hour, 20, 25. So what that does is it takes debris from our areas, and we have, I want to call like a little vortex area when you exit Arden Road.
Okay.
There's an empty lot there, and I guess the trash from some of our stores will gather there. So we see a lot of trash bags, we see a lot of paper cups, a lot of fast food.
If you are talking about the field that's right outside of TLCA High School, that's basically my backyard. I live in those apartments over there. And I mean, you're right. So it's a little bit higher, and my yard's a little bit lower, and so all of it flows off and into my yard. I'm telling you, it's crazy. And so it's just, you're saying there's like wind really has a lot to do with not necessarily people just dropping stuff right there.
Right. And another area is right there on the Red Arroyo next to Comfort Inn and Suites.
Yeah.
So
that low spot there too.
Yes, if we get a little rain, enough rain to rise that water up, everything's going to go down the Red Arroyo, and then it just stops right there.
Yeah.
So right along that bank, it's not even a mile, but there's a stretch there. That's always a go-to spot that has a lot of trash. Over by the Walmart South, where the Dollar Tree is.
Okay.
We're going to get a lot of paper bags, obviously from the shopping, and a lot of debris, some cardboard. I know Dollar Tree's been extra busy, and you know their bins are can get full and overflow. The problem is you've got a school right behind there on Benficklin, and it's really sad to see the cardboard and trash there.
Yeah, well, so these junior ambassadors maybe need to spread the word over there.
Absolutely. We'll get a group at Benficklin and get cleaning up.
Exactly. So, and then after the Don't Mess with Texas event, we got to get back on track here. I know I got
April
a little
1st.
bit off. And
No, that's cool.
And then, so moving on to May, that's when y'all are going to have y'all's really big event.
Yes.
And that is the Hazardous Waste event.
Absolutely. So that's our biggest event of the year. We need the most volunteers for this event. We really appreciate our good fellow Air Force Base partners who come out and help us out with this. But we'll be taking tires, we'll be taking shredded documents, maybe 4 boxes of documents. We'll be taking cardboard, electronics. We'll be taking batteries. We'll be taking oil and liquids. We'll be taking paint, aerosol paint cans, fluorescent light bulbs, your pet pesticides, your herbicides. If you have any chemicals laying around, make sure that your bottles are identified. But it's a great event. It does take about 120 people to put that on. We're adding the tires to this event so that we don't have to do them in a separate event. So we'll need an extra tire crew, maybe 10 or 12 to work tires on that. But we're looking forward to May 6th event. Check-in will probably be 8 and we'll start about 8:30, a little bit later than normal. That gives our volunteers time to get checked in, get into their spots, and get ready to roll. But we've secured enough funding that we should be able to do about 500 cars. Wow. So we're looking forward to the community coming out, to making it very expedient so you can get in, drop off, and get out. It's a challenge when you work with that many cars at one time, but we try to make it as easy as possible, hand out lots of literature, and we're working with our vendors right now to get that all lined out.
So I'm Joe Schmo, right? And
Joe
I
Schmo.
just retired from being a handyman my whole entire life. I got a trailer full of paint and all these random stuff. Just take it up there and you guys will handle it all?
Absolutely. I would remind our listeners that it is a household hazardous waste.
Okay.
So we don't want agriculture waste. We don't want any type of sharps. We don't want explosives or ammunition.
Okay.
If you're bringing tires, they cannot be on a rim. They cannot be industrial tires. We really just need passenger, and a pickup truck.
Yep.
Yes. And so we would encourage you, if you have buckets of paint with just a little bit of paint, leave the lid off. Let the paint dry out. You can put that in the trash.
Very smart.
And if it's half, maybe you want to put some absorbent in that. So that could also go to the landfill. If you have some larger quantities, that's the type of paint that we need, and we're working on a remedy for that. So we'd love to work with an organization, and I do have one in mind, where we can provide a metal building where if you have more than a can of paint, you can drop it off there, because lots of artists that are painting murals,
that's right,
transitioning to a new mural that we're working on. We're really excited about.
That would be really cool. Yeah, that would be really cool. A mural of Keep San Angelo Beautiful, all of recycled and reused paint. Man, that just hits it right on the
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Exactly. Well, Charlotte, is there anything else that you want to bring up while we're here? I know that we'll probably see you again next month or so, but is there anything else that you want to say right before we go?
Sure. Real quick, San Angelo Gives, guys. Make a plan with your family. If you're going to give $100 for San Angelo Gives this year and $25 to each organization, there's 220 organizations, including Keep San Angelo Beautiful, that would love your contribution. It really helps us. These funds are typically matched, and we have a lot of different ways to expand your donation. So please consider giving on that. Again, 220 groups that are definitely worthy. Everything from the Donkey Rescue to Cassie's Place to our Contra Valley Cause, Splash, everything. There's a cause for everybody. 220. So go to San Angelo Gives, look at all the different organizations, make a plan, and give on May the 2nd.
Yeah, and if you want, Keep San Angelo Beautiful.
Absolutely.
I'll say it. Pick them.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, exactly. So, Charlotte, thanks for coming. It's always a pleasure, and we will see you next time.
Sounds good.
Perfect. And we'll go back to you guys in the studio.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Condos Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Condos Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Cano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Condos at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
And that's our show for today. Be sure and tune in tomorrow. We'll have more on news, weather, and sports, and what's going to happen heading into the weekend. Until then, for San Angelo Live, I'm Yantis Green.